So today we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 6th canto, chapter number 9, the appearance of the demon Vritrashura, text number 10. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Dravya
Dravya Bhuya
Varena Apa Tudiyam Jagrihu Malam Tasu Budbuddha Penabhyam Drishtam Tat Padati Shipan Dravya Bhuyo Varena Pas Duriyam Jagrihur Malam Tasu Buddha Penabhyam Drishtam Tandarati Chipan Dravya Bhuyo Varena Pas Duriyam Jagrihur Malam Tasu Buddha Penabhyam Drishtam Tandarati Chipan Dravya Bhuyo Varena Pas Duriyam Jagrihur Malam Tasu Buddha Penabhyam Drishtam Tandarati Chipan
Dravya Bhuyo Varena Pas
Duriyam Jagrihur Malam
Duriyam Jagrihur Malam
Tasu Buddha Penabhyam Drishtam Tandarati Chipan
Dravya Bhuyo Varena Pas Duriyam Jagrihur Malam Tasu Buddha Penabhyam Drishtam Tandarati Chipan Duriyam Jagrihur Malam Tasu Buddha Penabhyam Drishtam Tandarati Chipan
Dravya Bhuyo Varena Pas Duriyam Jagrihur Malam Tasu Buddha Penabhyam Drishtam Tandarati Chipan
Ladies,
Dravya Bhuyo Varena Pas Duriyam Jagrihur Malam Tasu Buddha Penabhyam Drishtam Tandarati Chipan Dravya Bhuyo Varena Pas Duriyam Jagrihur Malam Tasu Buddha Penabhyam Drishtam Tandarati Chipan
Dravya, other things, Bhuya, of increasing, Varena, by the benediction, Apa, water, Tudiyam, 1/4, accepted malam, the sinful reaction, tasu, in the water, Buddha, enamyam, by bubbles and foam, drishnam, visible, tat, that, harati, one collects, shipan, throwing away. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. And in return for King Indra's benediction that water would increase the volume of other substances with which it was mixed, water accepted 1/4 of the sinful reactions. Therefore, there are bubbles and foam in water. When one collects water, these should be avoided. If water is mixed with milk, fruit juice, or other similar substances, it increases their volume, and so no one can understand which is increased. In return for this benediction, water accepted 1/4 of King Indra's sinful reactions. These sinful reactions are visible in foam and bubbles. Therefore, one should avoid foam and bubbles while collecting, drinking water. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Jatapadakam Shri Gurun Vaishnavam Shcha Shri Rupam Sagradatam Sahagana Raganatam Vitam Tam Zajivam Sadaitam Sabadutam Varijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Vadam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishagam Vidam Nama Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Nityanaya Namaste Saraswati Devi Gaurani Prachari Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Vishasati Vishasati. As soon as I hear Prabhupada talking about water, I become very enlightened. Why is that? Well, it's the first lecture I ever heard Prabhupada speak. We had arrived, driven all the way from Texas to California. We went to San Francisco and waited a few days, and then that fateful moment came. Prabhupada arrived at the airport. And he came out immediately he came to the Ratha Yatra site. And the first thing, after talking about Lord Jagannath, then he started talking about water. Interestingly enough. He quoted that verse, Rasoham apsu konteya prabhashmi shashishuryo. Krishna says, I am the taste of water. So he said, to practice Krishna consciousness, it is not very difficult. He says, every day you're drinking water, once, twice, thrice, more than that. Every time you drink water, you remember that Krishna is the taste of the water. Immediately you become Krishna conscious. So, wow, it sounds so easy. I mean, I just see you drinking some water over there, you see. And you know, water is pretty nice actually, if you think about it. It's pretty nice. How much we relish it, how much we take bath in it, we swim in it sometimes, we drink it. It's pretty interesting substance actually, water. And, Krishna says that taste of water, that's me. And Prabhupada mentions here milk and fruit juice, you can add water to it. And actually Prabhupada said any liquid thing. See, rasa means any liquid thing. He even said if the drunkard thinks the taste of the wine is Krishna, very nice taste, then he immediately he becomes the greatest yogi. Now don't imitate. That's for someone who's already a drunkard. You can tell him, my dear sir, did you know the taste of the wine is Krishna? But really, Krishna, 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 you see. He makes spiritual progress. If we do that, we're going backward, you see. But we can drink water and things. Just like many of our members, they work corporate jobs, you know, they have to go out, Monday morning they get out there in the traffic, go to the office. How are they supposed to be Krishna conscious in that hellish corporate atmosphere? It's very simple. Every time you go to the water cooler, or take your bottle of water and take a sip, Krishna, you have to remember Krishna, and then immediately you become Krishna conscious, you see. So, water is very special in many ways. It's a very, very special substance. And if we take advantage of this wonderful instruction of Prabhupada to remember Krishna every time we drink water, then we become fixed up in Krishna consciousness. And when you're not drinking water, what do you do then? Well, even though it's cloudy, there's still the light of the sun is entering this room, isn't it? Krishna says, Prabhashmi Shashashuryayo, I'm the light of the sun and the moon. So you can see all this illumination in this room. This is Krishna is here, you see. When the sun rises in the morning, now Krishna has come, you see. In this way you can see Krishna. Even with our blunt, materially contaminated senses, if we take advantage of the descriptions given in the scriptures as confirmed by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Tridandi Goswami Maharaj Prabhupada, then we can experience Krishna. And when you experience Krishna, then you are truly experienced. Jimi Hendrix said, when you experience my band, when you experience me, then you're experienced. That was bogus. He actually put his, one of his record albums, he took that Indian poster of the Universal Form, he cut off the head of Vishnu and put his head there instead. You see that? It's called Act as Bold as Love. Crazy, it's insane. He put his drummer and his bass player, they were on each side. They were the second expansion. He was the original form of Vishnu. And they showed that the Prophet said he's calling death very near. And he died shortly after that, choking in his own vomit in a London hotel room in the night. So, we're not in that kind of experience we don't need. With this kind of experience, you see, if we can actually connect with Krishna, then we're getting truly experienced. So water and the tongue, they come together, you see. Krishna, Krishna. So whether you're drinking water or whether you're chanting Hare Krishna, somehow or other, always engage your tongue in Krishna service. Talking about Krishna, hearing about Krishna, talking about how to serve Krishna, talking about how to spread this movement, going out and distributing Prabhupada's books. In this way, keep that tongue always engaged in Krishna service. And then you will not be living in the dimension known as time and space. You will enter into that dimension beyond time and space. Eternal existence is actually beyond. Actually, there's two types of eternal existence. Nitya Siddha and Nitya Buddha. In either case, the living entity is eternal. He's eternally bound up in karma chakra, or he's eternally liberated in the pastimes of the Lord in the transcendental world. So which kind of eternity would you like, Prabhu? You want eternal hell, or you want eternal nectar? You're eternal. That's the nature of the soul. Nitya, Nityanam. There is one supreme eternal and the plural eternals. Everybody's eternal. You don't have to attain immortality. Everybody is already eternal. But which eternity would you like? Eternally caught up in karma, or eternally enjoying with Krishna and his transcendental leelas? You have your choice. Which version of eternity would you prefer? You see, take your pick. Those who are intelligent, you see, they carefully analyze the two. They look at the pros and cons of each one. And it's very clear if you line up the pros and cons. What are the pros and cons of being a Nitya Buddha, and the pros and cons of being a Nitya Siddha? And it becomes very clear that the only thing you can really get as a Nitya Buddha is a little, what's called Preya, instant sense gratification. There's two things, Preya and Shreya, you see. Preya means that which is instantly enjoyable. And Shreya means that which is enjoyable in the long run. So it may appear as someone who has tunnel vision that Preya is very nice and Shreya is not so important. To those who have a broader vision, those who are Brahmanas, who have broad vision, they can see that Shreya is better than Preya. I'll give you a gross example. When I was in high school in Houston, Texas is one of the most air-conditioned cities in the world. It's so hot and so muggy. That's where they built the first air-conditioned baseball stadium called the Astrodome. Completely air-conditioned baseball stadium. So, but when I was in high school, the city fathers did not think the kids were worth having air conditioning in the school, so we had to suffer. Especially around May, it got really unbearable. I mean, really, it was so thick, the humidity was so thick, and you're sitting there in 5th period physics class, and, you know, there was no air conditioning. So some of the kids, they thought, this is too much, I'm just going to drop out, work at the gas station, save up some money, buy a hot rod. Hot rods were the in thing in those days for the youth. Surfing and hot rods. They had all the popular songs about hot rods on the radio. It was all about surfing and hot rods. That was, you know what a hot rod is? You take a car and you soup it up with a high-power engine, a super high-power transmission system, and then you can, you know, like a race driver, you can cruise around town and show everybody how cool you are with your hot rod. That was an in thing. Hot rods and surfing was a big thing when I was a kid. So anyway, some of the guys, they said, this is too much, I'm going to sit around in 5th period physics class and suffer, I'm just going to drop out, work at the gas station, get a hot rod. And during 5th period physics class, where were they? They were out there in front of the school. It's called burning rubber. That's where you put your foot on the accelerator, it's heavy, you just cram down the accelerator so the wheels just spin. You know, the car doesn't go anywhere, but it just, the tire spins around and makes a horrible screeching sound, and rubber comes off on the pavement. You show how powerful your engine is by burning rubber, you know. You just cram down the accelerator with your foot and it goes, and the smoke comes out, the tires are being, you know, merging into the cement, all the rubber comes out in like a powder form, a cloud of you know, like powderized rubber that shoots out all over the place. And you show how powerful you are in your hot rod, you see, by burning rubber. So anyway, they would, during 5th period physics class, we're all in their sudden, we hear them out there burning rubber out, you know, going up and down the street inside of the high school. So they could say, ha 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 ha, all you in there suffering and I'm here enjoying my hot rod. So he's getting prey, instant pleasure. We're suffering in 5th period physics class and he's out there enjoying it. His hot rod, you see. But 10 years later, where is he? He's still working in that damn gas station. And all the kids who did the yagya sitting in 5th grade physics class, they have college education, they're sitting in air-conditioned offices with high-paid salaries. So that's Shreya, you see. You do some austerity in the beginning to get something much better in the end. But Preya means I just enjoy immediately, and you know, in the end I'm not in a very good position. So the point is, one has to have long-range vision. I can enjoy this right now, but what is the result of enjoying? What will be the future result of enjoying this right now? That's the vision of a Vaishnava or a Brahmana. He has long-range vision. He sees what is the benefit, what will be the result of my doing this right now in the long run. I may get some instant pleasure by eating, you know, 25 gulab jamuns right now, but what will be the result tomorrow morning? How will this affect my spiritual advancement in terms of realizing Krishna in the long run? You see. Maybe I should only have 2 or 3 gulab jamuns instead of 25. Use a little intelligence to analyze things. I need to become steady in devotional service, not that I, you know, eat 25 gulab jamuns and I get sick and I'm laid back in bed for 2 or 3 days trying to recover from my 25 gulab jamuns. I really enjoyed it. I mean, it was really fun to eat. The problem was telling 25 gulab jamuns. But no, I have to. So in this way, we have to always have this vision of seeing into the future. What will be the result of my doing this? In other words, let me live my life in such a way that I can fully realize Krishna as soon as possible. Taking the bodily necessities, whatever is necessary to keep body and soul together, but not overindulging my senses. This is the teaching that Prabhupada is giving us. Not to overindulge the senses. Because if you do, then you have to pay a price for that. You have to pay a price for overindulgence of the senses. Material nature will kick you, the overindulgence of the senses. So, this philosophy means how to avoid the kicks of material nature. How to get free from the kicks of material nature. Material nature actually will facilitate us in our spiritual process. We become serious about Krishna consciousness. Material nature will assist us in going back to God. Material nature means Maya Devi or Durga Devi. Actually, she's acting not independently. She's acting under the direction of Krishna. This is confirmed in Brahma Samhita. Shrishti sthiti pralaya saddhana raksha eka chayeva yashi bhavanani nivarti durga icham nirupam api yashi tatesa govindam adipurusham damaham vajami. The external potency, Maya, who is of the nature of the shadow of the Chit potency, is worshipped by all people as Durga, the creating, preserving and destroying agency of this mundane world. I adore the primeval Lord Govinda in accordance with whose will Durga conducts herself. So Durga Devi or Maya Devi is not acting independently. She's acting in accordance with the will of Krishna. She's not our enemy. We are our enemy. The worst enemy that each one of us ever has is our own self. If we have uncontrolled senses, you see, if our senses are uncontrolled, we are our own worst enemies. You have a choice. You can be your enemy, you can be your friend. Do you want to be your own enemy, or you want to be your own friend? You want to reward yourself or punish yourself? One has to be intelligent. One has to become a Goswami instead of a Godas. Why should I inflict suffering upon myself? Some kind of masochistic ignorance, you see. Why should I do that? Does it make any sense? To inflict suffering upon myself? Why? Doesn't make any sense. Better to do that which is for my benefit. Do that which will liberate me from this material existence. This is intelligence. Actually, we are not against selfishness. But one has to be intelligently selfish, not foolishly selfish, that's it. Prabhupada explains that Krishna consciousness is in our own self-interest. So being self-interested, that's not wrong. Being stupidly self-interested, that is wrong. Being intelligently self-interested, that is the right thing. So how do we get intelligent? We have to hear. We have to hear from the scriptures. We have to hear from the spiritual master, the spiritual masters, the Vaishnavas. We have to hear from those persons who are purely representing the teachings of Krishna. By that hearing, we become inspired, we become purified, we become uplifted, we become empowered, we become transformed from servants of the senses into the desired position, which is to be masters of the senses. It's one of the two. You're either serving your senses or you're the master of your senses. And if you serve your senses, they're going to give you one heck of a hard time. They really will. That's what they do. If you serve your senses, you are going to suffer. There's no doubt about it. You will suffer. So we have to master them. The senses are not bad. The senses are instruments we can use in Krishna's service. Then they become wonderful. They become transcendentalized. Our senses are imperfect at the present time, and we cannot realize Krishna with imperfect senses. Not possible. But we have the tools, we have the techniques, we have the methodology given to us by Srila Prabhupada and the previous acharyas how to perfect our senses, how to purify our senses. So they become suitable instruments for helping us to realize God, you see. As when somebody gives you a car, here's a car, I'd like to give you a car. Here's the keys, here's the title, now here's your car. But the thing is out of repair, it doesn't run properly. You see. And it's more of a problem than it is a help. But if a car is properly running, you see, it's in good shape, and everything is working perfectly, then it's a very good asset. So, if your senses are out of control, if you're controlling your senses, it's like a useless car, a broken down car. Your senses are not going to help you, they're going to hurt you, they're going to hinder you. There'll be a problem for you. Uncontrolled senses. That's why Dobhamanga put out his eyes with a hairpin. Because he'd see, my eyes are pulling me away from Krishna, therefore put him out. I'm blind, better become a blind man. And to have eyes that can't be looking for, see beautiful women. But our opposite, instead of putting out our eyes, that is not our program. Our program is to take our eyes and gaze upon the beautiful form of Krishna, Radha and Krishna. That is our position. We want to purify our vision. Premandana charita bhakti valochanena samtaksadaiva hridayushu valokayanti yam shava shundaranam achintya jana svarupam Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami. I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, who is Shama Sundar, Krishna himself, with inconceivable, innumerable attributes, whom the pure devotees see in their heart of hearts for the eye of devotion, tinged with the salve of love. What is the Sanskrit? Prem Anjana. It's interesting, this word Anjana, Sanskrit word. There's another word in English, not so commonly there, but you'll find it in the unabridged dictionary. Unguent is another word for ointment. You see, Prem unguent. Notice the similarity between the Sanskrit word anjana and the English word unguent. I don't know about in your Danish language, but in English, the word for ointment is very similar. So you can see how Sanskrit is actually the mother of all modern languages. So you have to get that prem unguent, that prem ointment, that salve of love of God. You have to apply it to your eyes. You have to apply it to your vision. Normally if you get some ointment, we put it in your eye like this directly into the eyes. But this ointment is different. This ointment is a very special kind of ointment. You put it through your ears. Put it in your ears, and then you take it into your heart, and then your vision becomes purified through the eyes and the heart. Then your vision becomes purified. So we have, this is actually, ISKCON is a pharmacy. Did you know that? We're a pharmacy, and we're dispensing a medicine called Prem Anjana. We're the Prem Anjana pharmacy. There's no other pharmacies in town that carry it. ISKCON is the place to go. And our Srila Prabhupada, he is the head pharmacist. Actually, he was a pharmacist before also. He had Prayag pharmacy. You see, he was dispensing Ayurvedic medicines and allopathic medicine. But now he's giving, now by this ISKCON pharmacy, he's giving the supreme medicine, the supreme punishment. So the more you can go on hearing, the more you can go on chanting, the more you go on seeing the deity, serving the deity, bathing the deity, polishing the deity, to make him beautiful and shiny regularly, you see.